I picked up this lathe along with this bandsaw. I got a pretty good deal on it. At first, I really didn't want the lathe, but it was kind of an all for one deal. The story behind it was the guy tipped it over moving it, and he broke. Well, he broke this piece right here. He had that bent. I straightened it. This was bent. I straightened it, and this piece is broken off. But I think I can fix that as well. The remaining bit is, as you can see here, the selector plate is cracked, and the levers are broken off. I have the other bits for it in a little box, so I'm going to repair that. And the reason for that is that there's virtually no wear on the lathe bed. The guy I bought it from, I believe he was the original owner. You see, it's 1983, I believe. Anyways, it's all there. I stripped all the pieces off of it, and it's off the bed, or sorry, the base right now, because it was easier to move it this way. But like I said, at first I was just going to write the lathe off and, scrap it out. But really, except for those levers, which I believe I can braze up, and the crack in the selector plate, which I think I can fix rather easily. It's a crack, not even totally fractured. What I'll probably do is I'll just grind away some metal so I have something to grab onto and braze it up, and it should be as good as new. I already brazed up that, and it turned out pretty good. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repair this lathe. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I'm going to play with it for a little while, but I think I'll probably wind up selling it. I just wanted the bandsaw. It's a dual 16-inch bandsaw, and I'm a little bummed out in a way. It does nothing to the functionality, but the job selector plate, it fell off somewhere on the way down. It never occurred to me that thing would come loose and fall off. Otherwise, I would have taken it off before I started. Like I said, it makes no difference to the actual functionality of the machine, but it's a bummer not being there, because that's one of the things that always intrigued me about these big dual bandsaws. So I'm going to fix it up. It doesn't really need too much by the looks of it. I got to put a new tire on the drive pulley, and since I'm going to do that, I'll probably do one on the other pulley as well. I'm going to clean it up. I took the welder off of it. It's missing a few parts, and just to get it off the trailer, I stripped off as much as possible. I took the table off, and that baby there is over 100 pounds if it's over an ounce. So these are my latest little projects. It's kind of a bummer because I was in the middle of building a CNC machine, but now I think I might have to put that on hold until I get this taken care of, because I got to get this out of the way so I can actually continue the project. So I'm going to strip off the plate there and see what I can do about brazing that up. And the same with those selector levers. I'll call them that because I don't know what the proper terminology is. The lathe is a Shunshin, which it's made in Taiwan. It was made in, like I said, 1983 or 1985. The plate for it's outside right now, with the base in the tray. It's not a true gearhead lathe. It does have back gears and gears for the lead screw and the feed shaft, but the It's a belt drive between the spindle and a set of reduction gears that goes down to the motor. Once I get it all repaired, I'll get it back together and I'll probably clean it up. I don't know if I'm going to give it the full downtown job or not. I don't know. I think, as Taiwanese lathes go, it's probably not too bad. It looks to be very similar to what Busy Bee and King sell, and as well as Grizzly and Inco, I suppose. They're all pretty much of the same ilk. It's funny. One of those things where I was just gonna scrap this, but now that I took another look at it, it's like, geez, this is really not a bad lathe. So I'm gonna fix it up, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I got the plate off. It's a nameplate that covers the selector plate. It came off just by removing, there's 6 drive screws, so I carefully pulled those out. I kind of mangled them up getting them out, but that's okay. I'll probably thread those out with and put small screws in to hold the plate on. I think, I don't like those drive screws, to be honest with you. And I noticed that there are, regular screws. They look like regular screws anyways, holding this plate up here. So I took a look at the gears. They look to be okay, although when I try to turn it around, it only goes about halfway around and then it jams, so there might be more to this than I think. The next thing to do is to take this knob off. It looks like there's a roll pin that's holding it, and once that's off, then it looks like I got 4 cap screws to undo and I can pull that plate off. That's good because that'll make it easier to fix this thing. And what I'll go ahead and do is probably grind out some grooves in it, put it in the barbecue, heat it up to about 500 degrees Fahrenheit, or whatever the equivalent is Celsius. I think like 260 maybe. Anyways, I'll let it soak there for a little while to bring everything up to temperature. It makes it easier to braze, because when you get big cast iron pieces, it takes a while to bring it up to temperature. So that's the next step. Alright, I got the plate off. As you can see, this is the broken bit. The other piece fell off, and I'll pick it up in a second. I just thought I'd give a little update here. And these are the 2 broken levers right here that I need to work on. So I gotta take this shaft off here. It must come out this way, I think, although I don't know. I'll have to get the light out and take a better look. Anyways, that's the next step. Then put them together and clamp them down somehow to keep their shape, and then braze them together after I remove a little bit of metal for the bronze, or the brazing material. Then we'll put it back together and hope for the best. I didn't want to take any more of this off than I had to. When I took the knob off, there's 2 springs and 2 ball bearings to position it in a specific location, so I'll have to remember to put those back in, as well as a yoke that pulls that in and out. I guess that's it either selects the feed or the lead screw. That's my understanding what that's for. I guess I could look at the plate. Yeah, and here's the information right there. So it selects either the lead screw or the feed shaft.